Well, welcome back, Maniacs. I'm going to do a little. I seem to have this bad habit now. I'm going to move this camera here for a minute. Just give me a second here to get myself situated. Very nice. I want to do a video on another kind of state of the vape kind of thing. After watching a video that another reviewer did, and an excellent video. It's from Vaping Biker. You can find him at Vaping Biker on YouTube. And the title of the video is Why I've Fallen Out of Love with Vape Reviewing. And just a whole lot of information in there. And okay, seems like when I'm moving, I'm dragging a little bit. Yeah, like that. We'll see if that translates into the video itself. However, he said a lot of stuff in there that resonated, and I don't know if a lot of people recognize where we're at right now as a vaping industry and what a dangerous place that is. And even with every point that he made, not one had to do with relations. And I've been so focused on the regulation aspect of it, be it federal, local. Here where I live, they just passed the 21 and over law, which, we all know that's kind of fucked up. But he brought some interesting thoughts to the table. And I don't know if I have the same, he's got 77,000 subscribers. I've got 127. Well, I'm pretty sure we don't have the same customer base. Or not customer base, but subscriber base. There we go. So I was kind of hoping to get maybe a few people in here. And if I'm not going to get any people in here, I'll just do a regular video. Hey, I got someone. Hey, welcome. Who I got there? Anybody? So that's kind of where what the point of this video is going to be, is the things that he said in his video that are relevant and germane, and he's over in England, and the fact that he says these things that are they're just as relevant over here. As a matter of fact, one of his examples, which Dean's really good about not trying to start drama, not naming names, yada yada yada, but he was pointing out some of the fallacies within the vaping community, and he was calling out, describing the way certain reviewers act and review, and you could tell who he was talking about. It's quite hilarious, really. If you watch enough review channels, you would know who he's talking about. I'm not going to mention dude's name because I can't stand this son of a bitch anyway. If that's what reviews are, then I guess I don't agree with reviews. But the things you were talking about are over here on this side of the pond. The problems being. So we'll jump into it. And one of the first things that he was saying, why I've fallen out of love with vape reviewing, is the things he has to review, and that there's no innovation, there's nothing new, there's nothing exciting. And he's spot on correct. And it makes me sad that that's where we are. Um, and another reviewer had said, somebody had asked him why he's reviewing all these pod systems all the time. And this is when it first kind of came to my attention. And this was like a month or two ago. He said, well, nobody's making them anymore. 2 battery mods. I don't get but a couple across my desk anymore. Everything is pods or, internal battery sticks or shit like that. So let's have a drink. So, and from my experience working in a vape store, he's speaking the God's honest truth. There's nothing new and exciting and different on the market. Nothing. I will, I don't say this to all customers. You got to keep in mind, each customer is individual, and sometimes, as sucky as it sounds, sometimes I need to nail the sale. But if it's someone who knows what they're talking about, who knows a little bit about vaping, they'll ask me, hey, what do you think of this new what you nuts here? And I'll tell them, or which one is the best, or which one is going to last me the longest, or which one is going to perform the best. And the simple fact is they're all the same. Everything inside is pretty much the same. Very similar chipsets, 2 or 3 or even 1 battery. These are all they're gonna do 200 watts, 220, whatever. It's not going to be that big of a difference. They're all the same. They just look different on the outside. Some of them have some really fucked up quirks, like that. What's that called? It's not Shakira. That's the singing gal. Shikra by Sigeli, I believe it is. It has, I guess it has innovation where you got to put a passcode in. Now it's horribly done, but okay, that's different. But it's still a 200-watt device. It's going to do, 2 batteries, put a sub-ohm tank on it, and you're good. So that's something that I have seen. There's now, because I'm kind of deeper into this, and some of you may be aware, like I do these things. There's another community underneath the vape store kind of thing. And so there are devices out there that aren't the same, but they're not in the mainstream anymore. Not anymore. And hey, let's take a vape. Let's take a break. Take a vape. We're going a little fast here. I know. Hallelujah. So that was his first complaint, or first reason for not wanting to review stuff, and I can kind of understand him. I'm kind of picky about what I review. As someone who watches this channel, you on the other side of that camera, you obviously recognize that. I've got 127 people that understand kind of what I'm reviewing. I like more of the big cloud stuff, I guess, and I'm very partial to Vapors Cloud and Cloud Chasers Incorporated and Steam Crave and some of those type of companies. But there's not a lot that the average person who walks into a vape store, they, well, one, if they're going to quit smoking, obviously, I would not sell them something like this. Um, I mean, that's just, I feel personally that you have to work up to that. Um, I don't think, I don't think anybody should be starting with an RDA to quit smoking. Uh, I think everybody should pay their dues, and um, now that egos are done and pod systems have replaced egos, um, I think they need to come up through either the pod type way and then maybe sub ohm or whatever. But I don't think anybody should start on an RDA. But even then, someone who's been on an RDA or on, like, let's say, a pod system or a sub ohm tank, and they're ready to go to the next level. They're not ready to go to the next level because they know what they're looking for. They're ready to go to the next level because what they have is not enough, which is what a lot of people who use this type of thing, RDA, big boxes. That's how we got there. We got there one of two ways. We got there because we saw someone blowing a big fat fucking cloud and went, "Holy shit, I want to do that." Or they looked at everything that was on the market and went, "It's just not doing it. It's not doing it." And that's what, for me, that was my journey. But keeping in mind the most powerful tank out at the time when I started picking up RDAs was the Nautilus. Sub ohm tanks had not come out yet. So that's why I got to the RDAs. And, as much as I hate sub ohm tanks, or not so much that I hate sub ohm tanks as I hate the proliferation of sub ohm tanks. How many of something do you need? How many different ones are necessary? Is one incrementally, just because this one gives you just 1% better flavor, is it really necessary to, and everybody says, going on, okay, well, mine's better, mine's better, mine's better, mine's better. How many does it take before you go, this is kind of pointless? And while I like innovation and I like new things come out that are better, unless you see a significant increase, there's no point to it. And there are some companies, like, for instance, what we tout is the best sub ohm tank on the market right now is the Freemax, the Mesh Pro. They came out of nowhere. They didn't have tons of stuff out. One day they weren't there. The next day they were there. I'd never heard of them. So, they saw an opening, a need, and they filled it. Then you have companies, like Smoke, who just put out a tank a week. And there's no discernible difference between them. It's they're just putting stuff out to put stuff out. They make small tweaks here and there, like on the Prince. They put the locking mechanism on, which should have done that to begin with, to be honest with you. But they didn't because they rushed it to market. They were in a hurry to get out before their competitors. And the weird thing is they were only competing with themselves for quite some time. Nobody else is coming out with anything worth the shit. Aspire, they hadn't come out with anything. They haven't come out with anything worth a crap since the Cleto. And even then, that's debatable. So I've heard some people say they like it, some people say they hated it. I didn't say anything wrong with it. I thought it was a pretty neat idea. But they're one of the few who, because Aspires, they're the ones who changed the market. They've done it 3 times. They did it with the Nautilus, they did it with the Atlantis, and then they did it once again with the Clito. And it's just, they're one of the few that haven't put a tank out every week. But you've got like iJoy and whoever makes the Falcons and the Crowns and all these, and there are just so many different versions of the same damn thing, and none of them is any better than any of the other. Just hardly discernible measuring of, better flavor, better vapor, better whatever. It's a waste of fucking time. This is what it is. And I got started on this damn sub-ohm thing and got fucking distracted. Let's refocus ourselves. Well, whoever it is out there who's watching, I thank you very much. So that was one of his things with why he's not into the reviewing thing. And the other one is the drama between, within the community itself. And on this one, I understand what he's saying, but unfortunately, I think if there's no drama, then people are going to get away with shit. That's what I honestly think. Let me give you an example of, and I'll name names and all that other stuff here, but you may remember a few weeks ago I made that one video about the future of vaping or whatnot, and they were, we're talking about the PMTAs and they had a lawyer on and all that other stuff, and it got me thinking. Thinking it was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Graham Greene got on, put out a video wanting us as vapors to send money to this particular law firm. And this law firm had a set of 4 things that they wanted to sue over and try to change. So people sent their money in, and they raised their goal. And a couple weeks ago, the deeming regulation stuff happened. It didn't change anything. All those people sent that money in. And of course, the 4 points that they were talking about were completely pointless anyway. It was just semantics, really. But it gave people hope. And I didn't say anything at the time because Matt from Suck My Mod told me to shut my face. So if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, just shut up. And so I did. I just shut up. And it was a waste. And all these advocacy groups that people have been giving tons of money to over the years, God bless them. They're trying to do the best that they can, but they're not making any headway. Vaping is dying. If you didn't hear it here first, well, you've heard it here first now. It's dying. We just don't know it yet, and it's sad. But this incarnation, all this vaping that we know it as it is now, is going to die. Now, vaping in and of itself can't never die. It's too big. But in this incarnation, in this time and frame and space and time, it's dead. And we as the community itself are the ones who killed it. We can, well, we'll get to the next part then. But so the drama thing, that was one of his other concerns, is that he's tired of the drama of shitty reviewers, of good reviewers going unnoticed, shitty reviewers getting all the subs and attention, and very frustrating. Um, and then something that I'll add on top of that for the next topic, if you will, is of course the pod systems, which I've said quite a bit about in the past, not on here, but on Instagram and such. The the death of the vaping community can be attributed 100% wholly upon pod systems. You can't blame it all on one company. You can't blame it on Juul. You can't blame it on smoke. You can't blame it on any one company. But the genre, the pod, that's what did us in. I'd like to say, that I see room for optimism, but I don't. If you remember back in the day, the 2016 deeming regulations, they didn't have a whole lot of ammunition against us. They really didn't. The best they had was, we don't know what it's going to do. That's all they had. They had nothing. They were trying to regulate this industry. One, they were trying to call it a tobacco product, which thankfully in my state, as back-asswards as we are, we didn't buy into that. So in the state of Missouri, vaping and tobacco products are two completely separate entities. But that's not the way it is across most of the United States. So that was their number one focus, is to get it lumped in and get tobacco control on it. With the pharmaceutical companies and all that other shit, right? They didn't have anything on us. They didn't have nothing. And then the pods came out. And there was there was a little bit of concern for underage vaping. No more than there was underage smoking. I mean, it was about equal back in those days. Now it's gone through the fucking roof because they finally had something to hang their hat on. Our kids are going to get addicted to nicotine, where we're creating addicts for the future. Sorry, my table's kind of wobbly. And so that gave them the door to go through. And it got pushed even wider open when all the manufacturers saw this and started making pod systems. I mean, if you watch the industry at all, you saw it happen. I mean, you witnessed it in real time happen. I sat here and watched it. I went from going to my wholesale sites and seeing a bunch of different 2-battery devices, which of course are all the fucking same, and sub-ohm tanks, to 1 or 2 pods, and then 2 or 3 pods, and then just pods for screens until you got to finally something different. But can we get mad at the manufacturers? I don't think we can. I don't think we can, because the manufacturers are going to do what we tell them to do as a consumer. If it doesn't make them any money, they're not going to do it. It's just as simple as that. You don't see tube mods being made anymore, do you? That's because nobody buys fucking tube mods. I mean, you could make the argument, yeah, there's still tube mods out there. Vapors Cloud makes some, Purge. There's a handful of mod makers out there still making tube mods, but it's nowhere near what it was back in the day. And the easiest way to tell is just go to Fast Tech. If you go to Fast Tech, you'll be hard pressed to find a tube mod. You'll find them, but there's nowhere near. There used to be like 1,000 pages of tube mods back in the day. You ain't getting that now because they don't have nothing to clone. Because nobody's making them anymore. And so that just goes to show you right there. The market said, we're not buying tube mods anymore. And so the manufacturers responded, okay, well, we won't make them anymore. And so now if you want to get, I've got one around here somewhere. I want to get something like this, which is, what the fuck is this? Turtle ship? Something like that. No, that's not a turtle ship. It's not even a ship. It's a fucking dude. Oh, that's a fucking kick-ass fucking etching, dude. Dude, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not in the engraving. Look at that. Isn't that nice? It's a clone. I have no idea what the hell it is, though. I just noticed it for the first time. I thought it was a turtle ship. But anyway, you're not going to find these. You're not going to find these. If you go to a vape store that just opened within the last 1.5 to 2 years, you're not finding one of these on the shelves. It ain't happening. Now you might find something like this on the shelves. This is that Cthulhu regulated. That little button on the top. So it's a regulated tube. You might find something like that, but a pure mech mod, you're not going to find. So yeah, this video really didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to. I really should have just recorded it instead of going live, but we'll see if it gets any views. Fuck it. But yeah, that's it. Just watching an elder statesman of vaping throw in the towel. It's hard to watch, man. It is. It's hard to watch. Someone whose voice is trusted. I remember feeling kind of the same way back about 2-3 years ago when Todd decided he was going to quit. And, for all intents and purposes, he still is quit. All he does is review little weird ass shit. Stuff that you just won't see in America. It's mainly, stuff made over in Europe and such, but he doesn't review mainstream stuff anymore. And so when he quit, he pretty much quit doing it, and it was losing a valuable voice within the community. And that's kind of the same way I feel about the Vaping Biker. I didn't discover him when he first came out. It took a couple of years. But I found that I respected his opinions and his views on the devices he reviewed. He gave an honest and he gave a thorough review. And to lose that voice, now he says he's going to do, if you see something that excites him or it's new and innovative or whatnot, he might pull a review out here and there, but I don't think, for me anyway, it's not, watching the review is, I guess, kind of important, but that's not the only reason I'm there. I'm there because I genuinely like the person, and I'm interested in what they have to say. And even if they don't have anything, even if it's something different than vaping, um, I'm interested. You know what I mean? And it's good entertainment, I guess. And it's a sad day for vaping when our elder statesmen are heading for the hills. It's a sad day indeed. So I think this has been a rambly enough walk. Um, 30 minutes to basically don't say shit, I guess. But my thoughts are out there. Some people may agree with them, some people may disagree with them, and that's something I'm coming to learn. Since having this channel is a lot of people don't a lot of people don't agree with me on certain things, and that's good. I guess that's healthy. So I think we'll go ahead and call this one a wrap. For my one lonely viewer, thank you for sticking around, and I hope all the people who actually watch this, I hope you gain something or gain a perspective about it. And so let me see if I can find what button to hit. All right, that's the one I'm supposed to hit. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.